guys, it's Service Dog Universe. So today we're going to talk about bringing your service dog to work with you. I applied to Discover Card last year, got hired on the 11th of September, and I started taking Ace, big boy out there. I started taking Ace with me for a while. I take Suki now. Hi, Suki. So we're going to talk about the interview process, we're going to talk about the paperwork needed, and what they can and cannot do and all of that. So, the interview process. I get a lot of questions about on the internet about the interview process. So, I don't have all the right answers, I just have advice. When you go to your interview, I would take your service dog, because two reasons that I recommend taking your service dog. One, the person doing the interview is going to be able to actually see the way the dog behaves, because when you say the word dog, they're thinking barking, they're thinking jumping and dirty and distraction. But if you show them, you can tuck them under a table and they don't make any noise and they're really good and they completely forget about them during the interview, then they're like, okay, this is what a service dog is. Because a lot of people don't understand what a service dog is or how they act. Second is, if you bring your service dog, plenty of people are going to be like, we're not hiring this person because they have a dog. But if you bring your service dog to the interview, you will eventually find an employer to hire you, because they have respect for people with disabilities, and they have respect for people who need service dogs, and they're willing to make that accommodation. And you know that when they hire you, they're going to be able to make accommodations in the future without much pushback. And that's the kind of employer that you want to work for. So the other thing is paperwork. So when you actually get hired on, they're going to ask you to do paperwork from your doctor, so that your doctor fills out the accommodation form. And don't be afraid to tell your doctor to get specific, especially people, and I only say this from personal experience, especially with people with psychiatric disabilities. You don't have to disclose the specific disability, but like list the tasks. Make sure it says service dog and not therapy or comfort or whatever. Because I had an issue where I was interviewing for a call center for DirecTV, and my doctor filled it out great, the tasks, and said, this is a service dog. And DirecTV said, oh no, you can't bring them because this sounds like emotional support. And I argued with them, and I said, it says right here in the paperwork, service dog. I'm looking at it. And they're like, well, it doesn't actually mean that it's a service dog just because it says service dog. I'm like, whatever. So I didn't work there. Because when you get pushback like that, guys, you don't want to work for them. You do not want to work for people like that. So, fill out that paperwork, get it to them. And next they're going to ask you some questions about the dog, and has it ever been aggressive, and they might ask questions about paperwork. Be polite and just explain that there's no paperwork needed for service dogs, and that they're not allowed to request it. The only paperwork that they can request is from your doctor. When you're dealing with work accommodations, they can deny your request to bring your service dog with you. Anyway, so they can deny it if they say that the dog is going to cause them undue hardship. Could be money or whatever. But the thing is, they have to prove that it would cause them undue hardship. Obviously, they can't deny on the grounds of allergies or fear, but undue hardship is the one thing that they can. If you have more questions about denial or like a specific situation, there's a website called askjan.com. They're amazing. They get back with you, and they will answer your questions about work accommodations, service dogs, and other ones too. Now let's say you're hired and... Suki, what are you doing? So let's say you're hired and your paperwork's all filled out and you're ready to go. what do you do when you take your dog? Sorry, you had to see that. Yeah, what do you do when you take your dog into work? I bring blankets for them to lay on because I work at a call center. I bring water bowl. This is a collapsible water bowl. I bring treats. So there's my treat bag. And yeah, vest. I would bring a vest, guys. Don't, like, just so the people know what you're doing with the dog. And I think your work is actually allowed to request that you have the dog marked as a service dog, which is fine. And in my honest opinion, I don't think there's anything wrong with them saying that it needs to be marked. Anyway, so Suki is coming to work with me. Suki, come here, baby. Come say hi to our people. Come say hi to our people. Hi. She loves you guys, I promise. And she loves me. Yeah, what do you have dirt on your nose? She always gets muddy in our videos. But anyway, yeah, bring a blanket, all that. Guys, do not bring your dog to work if your dog is not ready for a long work day, okay? We're about to go here for 4 hours. Suki has to hold a downstay for 4 hours. She can do that easily. If your dog can't, or if you're wondering if your dog, don't bring your service dog, all right? If you've had your service dog for 2 months and you don't know if it can heel properly or not jump on people or whatever, don't bring your service dog. It's not ready, and that's fine. Just wait until your dog is ready. But make sure your dog is trained. Make sure your dog is ready for what they need to do in order to do your job and to do their job. All right? Another thing, hold on. So another thing that I wanted to mention was that if you're working in a facility with a lot of people, or even if you're not, I would have, like, the manager, somebody send out like a mass email or have a meeting about how to behave around the service dog. My workplace is awesome, and they've actually done this twice. They've sent out an email saying, like, hey, there's a service dog on campus. This is how you act and this is how you don't act. And I remember there was like a big event. It was like we won an award or something, and it was like a big event, and everybody was like in the cafe area, and a lot of people were taking pictures of me, and I hate it when people take pictures of me, and I'm sure you all do too. And I brought it up to somebody. I was like, I don't want to make a huge deal, but I just don't feel comfortable with this, and I don't know what to do. And they sent out a mass email saying don't take pictures. So, like, make sure that everybody is on the same page about how you act around a service dog. No puppy, no pictures, no distracting or feeding the dog, that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's another big thing, is having coworkers understand how things work. Something else I wanted to mention is additional accommodations on top of the service dog accommodation. So when you have a service dog, obviously you have to let them out to pee and poop and get them water and stuff. So another accommodation you can ask for is like a 10-minute break on top of whatever other break you have for yourself, to let your dog outside and get it water. I do not recommend feeding your dog on your shift. Feed your dog before your shift, after your shift, but not during your shift, because your dog's just gonna have to take a shit like while you're trying to work. So just don't. So just give it water and stuff. Oh, my lane is ending. Let me over. Thank you. Don't lynch me for doing this while I'm driving. All right, I'm on my way to work. It's fine. Videos about work. I'm on my way to work. Anyway, so yeah, and another accommodation is being able to like bring a blanket in and putting it down there, and just little stuff like that to make you and your dog a little more comfortable. And obviously if the employer is okay with you having a service dog, they're going to be totally fine with you having these other accommodations as well. You ready? Let's go. And we're always gonna make sure we stop and make sure she goes potty. You go pee? That's not pee. You're faking. You're still faking. Just go potty. There you go. My dog is peeing. So, another accommodation I had to ask for was to use the handicap door because I couldn't fit through the regular door with her. Because that's the handicap door, and that's the door that everybody else uses. Good girl. Yeah. Apparently her vest is crooked or something. She keeps looking back there. So, there you go. There's a pretty girl. You're so pretty. So pretty. Though the emails were sent out, we're still getting a lot of, can I pet her? Can I pet her? And, you know, that's okay. Just educate and be nice, and hopefully they'll learn. There's a lot of people in this building, so, you know, stuff like that happens. We are currently on our break. We can't really tape near the computers because there's like personal information on the computers, so just in the hallways. And she's doing perfect. This is her second day here, so yeah. I'm gonna get a drink. Probably Monster. What do you want? And Powerade. And this is one of the break rooms. But yeah, it's really nice. And there's the marketplace that we were just in. And she's doing really good. Keeping her eyes on me, holding her down, stays, listening. Yeah, you're doing good. Yes, you are. You're doing good. I'm gonna give her a treat because she's being real good today. Yeah. Nom 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 nom. Nom nom nom. She did amazing. Hardly anybody even believed that she was only 8 months, because she held her down stay, and she was just perfect. She even alerted, and a couple times actually, but she was just so great. You're such a good girl, baby. You are such a good girl. But yeah, I'm going over to the boyfriend's house. So if you guys have any questions at all, just make a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to us and let us know if you have any suggestions about what you want to see next. Thanks.